My name is Kay Rose, and I'm the general manager of the Get Global Network and co-producer of the Ask Avani Show. Avani is one of the internet's most dynamic, talented, and funny radio personalities, period. The Ask Avani Show airs live Saturdays at 3 p.m. GMT in London, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific Time in the U.S. on the Get Global Network stations like Sometro-Radio, Yes Sir FM, Sometro Talk, just to name a few. The show is the only weekly internet show that connects the UK and the US live with original content and interviews with motivational speakers, entertainment industry professionals, business owners, and interesting personalities. Avani is the key to making the show work. This show features Avani and her views on a couple of serious subjects that I know you will find educational, entertaining, and interesting. Sit back and enjoy this episode of the best of the Ask Avani Show.
Gave you advice, you never listened to me. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you.
Tell us your views. The recession. I know for a fact, I have to be honest with you, I'm just going to say it. For me, it was hell, and I think it's still going on. Our government is saying, well, actually, no. They were saying, you know, green shoots, it's getting better, we're happy, and blah, blah, blah. Now they're shaky again, and they're saying, you know, that Europe's gone a bit dodgy, and there could be some problems. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, make up your mind. But do you know that we've got just under 100 days, because there's going to be elections later on in the year? So people are starting to get a bit jumpy in the political scene. They want to sort of say, oh, well, let's get people to vote for us. And they're going to drive us crazy for the next however many days. I mean, how do you deal with politicians and election time and things in the US?
Well, what happened for us, it's in waves. It's just like it is there in the UK. And we're between years right now. We don't have a presidential election until 2016. And so this year we get to hear the people that want to run for office basically drive us crazy.
So you understand the driving you crazy bit. Oh my God, every time I turn it on, and they're talking about the polls, and you're thinking, hold on, nobody's even voting yet. So why are you telling us about the polls? But what they're doing is they're trying to predict what's going to happen. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's too close to call. Because, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Right now, I can't even tell you who I want to vote for, if I even want to vote. Now, that's bad, because if you don't vote, then you may not get to have your say. But I don't like none of these parties. We've got the Labour Party. We've got the Conservative Party. We've got the Liberal Democrats. We've got UKIP, there's just so many different parties, and they're all clamouring, saying we can do this, we can do that. There's how many race rows going on over here now, again, saying, oh, that this party is racist and that party's, they're hiding things, and this, I'm so done. You know, it's really boring me. So,
well, do you think that
I haven't even started properly
do you think
yet,
you're
so
typical? Do you think that you're typical of just the average citizen there in the UK?
Well, in that respect, I think people are just fed up of all the parties, and they're all clamouring and saying, oh, you know, we can do this for you, we can do that for you. In the UK, what we want, I'll tell you what I want them to start sorting out the economy and stop giving money away before they sort out the economy here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against charity. I like, helping people. But charity starts at home. When there's people that are going homeless and going hungry and, can't find a job, and then the state, it's a catch-22, because then you've got the government saying, oh, you're all lazy and you don't want to work. That's not true. Because if you can see the amount of times I've been on Twitter, and people that know me, they know I love to talk, as is evident. I don't know if you can tell that yet. But I'm on Twitter all the time going, government, when you're going to do this? When you're going to start letting people, find jobs that they can do? If you can help people to find work, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be signing on, as we call it, on benefits, because they just go to work and that'll be the end of it. And it needs to be jobs that are paying enough to live, because the cost of living is really, really high, and everyone's stressing. And you know what, the other day, well, in fact, I think it was yesterday and today, they're talking about, one of our major supermarkets, which is called Tesco. They are laying off already started thinking about laying off 2,000 people in a particular head office. And I'm thinking, it started again. Because of the oil prices dropping, people are losing their jobs. And they're still saying, oh, but, the economy is getting better. But I'm not being funny. How many people, if you did a poll, would turn around and say, well, I've been unemployed for X amount of years and I can't find a job? Is it me, or is there something amiss there? I mean, what do you think? If you was an outsider looking in, doesn't that sound a bit strange to you?
Well, it's the same. That piece of the puzzle is the same, in both worlds. And here in the United States, we have those same type thoughts as people have the same thoughts, and people. I think that's a common thing about government. You have people in government that I don't believe spend money correctly, and I don't think they take into account that. Prime example, I'm not sure how much that they spend on elections and advertising and things like that. They're in
not
the
as much
UK.
as you guys, and you know what it is. I must tell you, we do. The political arena. They are starting to watch what you guys in America do, and, in your Senate and everything. And it's, okay, well, we need to start interacting with the public via social media. We need to start spending more money on campaigns. I think one of them, who was it? I think it was Ed Miliband. I'm sure he hired an American or previous presidential advisor in some capacity to help boost his ratings or something. And I just thought, you're just trying to copy and you're not doing it properly. So, because we're still not warming to you because we know you're telling us lies. People, I'm sure you can understand that I'm getting quite passionate about it. You're listening to the Ask Avani Show on So Metro Radio. Please come through and talk to me. Me and Kairos, we like to have other people's views. You can come through on So Metro Radio Skype. You can call into the studio 001-214-699-6190. You can tweet me, Ask Avani Show. Just come through and tell us what you think, and I'll give you time to think about if you're going to come through and talk to us. I think we're going to go for a little break, and we'll be right back. I'm so elated, hope the feet don't touch the pavement, so love the way.
You're listening to the best of the Ask Avani Show on the Get Global Network. You're listening to the Ask Avani Show, live from the So Metro London studios. Here's Avani.
Hi. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to everyone listening, UK, US, worldwide. We are international tonight. As Kay Rose just said, he's a producer of the Ask Avani Show. And we've been talking about the recession. I'm just wondering, what people think about how is it going. Do they think it's over yet? This is the thing I want to know. I don't think it's over. I think Kay Rose agrees with me that, things are still a bit shaky in the US. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, we're on, like I said, we're on the downhill side of it, but you and your country, I think you guys may have a ways to go. And as we were talking before, we were talking about conversion rates, and that's what the internet's for. We can go out here and figure out what the equivalent is, in your country. All we have to do is use the computer.
The other day when I was telling you about President Obama said something, and it made the news over here because I think he was talking in the Senate, and he was saying about how if politicians or people in power think that they can live on $15,000 a year with a family and do everything, they should try it. And that really stuck in my head because I was thinking, I know that's obviously it's $15,000. So what's the equivalent? And I went online and I looked it up, and it's not even £10,000. And I was just like, he's just so got a point. I knew it was low. And I just thought, if people think that's a lot of money, think about it. The cost of living, that wouldn't even cover your food and your maybe your rent or your mortgage, and you just think that is just not enough to do what you need to do. If they, what I think they should do? If they made the cost of living lower, then people wouldn't be killing themselves to make more money.
But the cost of living is based on so many different factors, and it's built on capitalism, and so you have to convince them. change, and that's not going to happen. People, and that's something we were talking about earlier in the show. If the people that govern any country or any place, if they were really true, honest, and giving people, they wouldn't be making $50 million a year, and and then people are making $15,000.
The wealth. There's a big division. There's a few people at the top, and I say that in inverted commas, who got money. And then there's everybody else who's like struggling at the bottom and like almost feel like they're taking scraps and like the begging bowl. No, why is richness?
Okay, and what is the begging bowl? We're going to have.
When I say the begging bowl, I mean like when you have the rich people and you have everyone else just scrambling around. It feels like we're scrambling around trying to survive. Because the recession, I know what it feels like. People don't believe me. Look, I've been there. This is why I get so heated about these things. Because I know what it's like when you're struggling to buy food. I know when you're sitting there and you go in the market or the supermarket and you're thinking, I remember years ago, if you had 1p and you didn't, if something had gone up in price and it was even 1 pence over, if you ain't got that, you need to put it back because you don't want to shame yourself at the till. Because you know you can't afford it.
Well, and again, this is the Ask Avani Show. This is Avani live from London in the Soul Metro Radio Studios in London. You're giving us, in our world, we are again going to have listeners that are mainly from London, mainly from the UK, that will be listening. And all those listeners will know what a p is, or a pence.
Pence, yeah. there's pounds and pence. And you know what they say? You look after the pennies and the pounds take care of themselves. That's how it's supposed to be. But that don't always work that way. Because when you ain't got no money, you just broke. Right. And you can't look after the pounds because you ain't got none.
Right. And so does the government there have a system to help those people that may need temporary help or may need assistance because they don't have? So what is that called? We call it
benefits.
Benefits.
Yes, benefits. Or I know, is it welfare you call it?
And they call it government assistance here, but it's the same type thing. It's benefits and government assistance.
Okay. So we have that. And listen, they are cutting that left, right, centre. And they always are trying to devise ways to get people to be cut off, because I've been there. People don't believe me, but yes, I have been on benefits. It's no joke. It's not funny. It's extremely stressful. Every minute they want to be cutting your money and telling you, you ain't doing enough. You're not doing it. And I'm screaming at them, help me, help me, help me. This is back then. And they were just looking at you and everything is no, we can't do that. No, we can't do this. And you're saying, okay, what have you got? Well, we haven't got anything. I'm saying, it's okay, you're telling me you can't help me, but you're telling me I've got to do things. But I'm saying to you, okay, well, you give me something and I'll do it. And then you're telling, but I haven't got anything to give you. So it's catch-22. They're not helping you. They're stressing you. They're cutting your money. They're giving you grief every time you go in there. I mean, no wonder. I have to tell you this story. And it's quite sad, actually. There's another reason why I get so annoyed, because I saw in the news, especially over the recession, there's two stories that stood out. One was this man. He was very rich and he had a wife and a daughter. And basically, because he lost everything, when the recession hit, he lost everything. And this guy had been working for like 30 odd years, building up his business and his wealth. And he lost it all. And he couldn't tell his wife because he thought, she's not going to stay with me. I think she's going to leave me. And I don't want her to think that, oh God, we have to start again. And he said, I'm too old to start again. I should be getting ready for my children growing up and then watching the grandchildren and all that. And he couldn't do it because he'd lost everything. He had a massive house in the country, horses, lots of land. And you know what this man did? He killed his wife. He killed his daughter because he didn't want to have to tell her that she's going to have to leave all her friends and move schools and all this. Then he set fire to the house and he killed like the animals, the horses and the dogs or whatever they had. And he killed himself. Now, how sad is that?
And I thought that was going in that direction, which was unfortunate. But that's the sad part about
all
having
for money
to live and not get the help, because it's not. I don't believe he was looking for a handout. I think he was trying to find the opportunity to have an income.
Yeah, he lost everything. This man had millions, and I don't know what deals he'd done, but unfortunately the market, whatever he did, crashed around him, and he lost everything. And I remember thinking, wow, that's, I was so, that even to this day, that story affects me. And there's another one about this